Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Hey, Deanne. I'm so sorry for the rough night that you had. I'm glad that you got a little sleep, and I'm glad you're awake to be here. It is really good to see you. Hi, Glennis. Good to see you. Hey, Sarah. Good to see you here, too. Hey, Carrie. I hope your headache goes away fast. Migraines suck.
For the ones ensuring the job always gets done, and the ones wearing many hats. Grainger offers professional-grade industrial supplies and real-time product availability. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Playing. Whoa. Close it down. Oh, I see. It was playing an ad going into us. Ah. Good to see you. Hey, Margie. Good to see you on a Monday. It's good to see everybody, anybody on a Monday. I love Mondays. We got a bunch of new people recently in Happy Paper People Facebook group, and I hope that they are aware of, see the posts, and plan to come to Monday Jumpstart with us. Hey, Jen. I know Jen is working, but she sticks an earbud in and keeps an ear in with us while we're hanging out on Monday. So thanks, Jen, for giving us an ear while you're working. Wow, we've got a whole chat full of admin. Where's everybody else? So we'll give them a minute to come in, but they're getting here. They're getting here. It is Monday. It's been a crazy week for our weekend for a lot of people. So yeah, not exactly a fun night for me. You can see right here my arm. Penny will be here soon. Okay, no worries. And if we're still here when she's gone, come back in. Hi, Joanne. So good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Oh, Jen, you are absolutely going to love these. Hey, Susan. Oh, my gosh. I have a lot of inks, and I have kind of gone through them and pared down a couple from some different brands that I really, really like. And of course, all the distress ones that I have that I use the most often. And I was invited to a workshop with Lisa Horton, and Lisa Horton brought these brand new metallic pigment inks out. And I thought, oh, that'll be fun to go see, maybe learn some new techniques or something, but had no intention of buying or even wanting any new inks. And Lisa Horton has a lot of inks out, and I don't have any of the other inks. And they've been out for quite some time. They're good quality inks. I just have so many, I don't need to add another brand. However, when I saw her demonstrate and we did some things with the metallic inks, they are a game changer. They are different than any other ink we have. Now, I have some metallic inks that are gold, silver, or bronze. Those are the only ones, but I have never seen, and this is, they said that this is the first metallic ink that is in the bright colors and is blendable. So, and we all went, huh? That means that these metallic inks will blend together. Like you blend, maybe you're using a couple different colors of distress. I like Victorian Velvet and Vintage Photo, two of my favorites to blend together when doing something that I want to look aged but pretty. They blend really nicely. So these metallics blend together. My other metallics that I have, they're just gold, silver, bronze. They are just pure metallics to put on there. So in my experimentation this week, just trying to learn how to use this weekend, I threw together some cards. And keep in mind that this is the first time I've ever used these. If you think they're pretty darn cool, think how it'll be when you really get a feel for them and can do some really awesome things. I also, well, we can get to that in a second here, but let me show you some cards that we put together here. So this is, and I'll tell you the colors. We'll play with them. We're going to experiment. We're going to do some things that I haven't done just to try them out, and so that you can see what they do. This is a blue. It is called Coastline, and it is really juicy, and it is really gorgeous. Now, I made these up as cards so that I could just put a sentiment on, and I'll probably put a white sentiment on. I have some sentiments in my sticky folio, and I like to, when I die cut them, just stick them in here, and then I can just pull them off and put them on there. But, you know, a stark white sentiment, because it's got the white border, looks really nice. It really stands out. But not knowing exactly what I was going to use them for, they could be a thank you. They could be a sympathy. They're elegant enough to be a sympathy. They could be, you know, a get well, or just thinking of you, or a smile, something like that. So, flubby fingers. Oh, they are amazing. Wait till we get into them. They're so gorgeous. Okay, so that's just the first one, the blue. Now I took that blue and did it again on another paper, and then mixed this mojito, which is a green. We're getting some real glare there. Mixed mojito with it. This is what you get when you mix the green and the blue. I know the camera is going to have a hard time with these because metallic reflects off the camera lens. And so it's really hard to get accurate color and even picture. So apologize up front. And you guys know that happens. There's not much we can do about that. So the difference in the blue and the green, but you see how they can blend. You can blend them as much or as little as you like. So if you want both colors to show, or you want them to kind of meld together. Check this out. This is a fuchsia flower. And this one is Love Struck, which is basically a fuchsia color. And then kind of blended over the top of that a little bit of ultraviolet, which is a gorgeous purple. Gorgeous purple. I did not use a stencil. You probably can tell that these are kind of 3D. That's because they are embossed. So I embossed the paper, and I'm going to show you how we do it. I just ran over the top of them. So they are all embossed. I love the fuchsia flower, and that purple is so, so pretty, so elegant. And then for the pistil and stamen, I just took a gold, what did I use? I think I used a gold foil pen, which is basically just liquid gold. I know I've sold these before, so a lot of you probably have them, and did the ones in the front. This was Jen's suggestion, and it worked out perfectly. Did the ones in the middle and that, because it made them come forward because it's a bright gold. And then I took just a gold gel pen and did the small ones, so they are not quite as bright. So it's almost like they're going backwards, and the ones in the front are the ones that caught the light. So the colors are amazing. I totally agree. Hi, Wendy. Good to see you. Okay, check out this one. This is Tulips. I will show you these embossing folders, and you're going to get an opportunity at Lisa's new products at a discount today, and I'll tell you about that as well. So this is Tulips, and this has a bunch of colors, multiple colors in it. We're going to go through all the colors. So I wanted to do some that are landscape and some that are portrait. And I didn't put anything on the inside, and it depends on how I will use them. Some of them I may write with a white gel pen. Others I might put a piece of white cardstock inside to be able to write on that. Now look at this one. This one is quite different from the others. It is not quite as shimmery. So here's the thing with the metallics, they're not an in-your-face, bold, bright metallic that just makes you go, whoa, hey, Heather, good to see you. So I like that because you get that metallic sheen, and it really is, in real life, it really is a sheen, but not a big, bright, like you put a metallic, something like this on it, and it's just out there. So I really do like that. Now, I found that if I blend them a little bit more, keep blending, that sheen goes down. So you can see on this one that the sheen is even, it's not dull, but it's even a much less sheen than on these others. And this started out with the Mojito and the Coastline as the basic. And then I used black ink on it, just a little tiny archival black ink to get the accent there. And then it's got a little bit of, I believe it was Sunshine. Sunshine is so pretty on the tips there. And this just felt like it needed something different than the white. So this is actually the gold metallic pen. I cut the piece to go underneath it and then just did the gold liquid foil on the edges of it and put that underneath it. So just some examples or samples of what you can do. I know a lot of you are card makers. I don't call myself a card maker. It's like once every however many years I make a card. These inks made me want to make cards. So I have already made, what is that, 5? And I plan to make a bunch more. They are so fun to use. I've got a couple of things that I already did, 4 cards, but I didn't make the card with them. So you could see how, they started out. There's the tulips. And I look at it. Actually, I made the other one. I made the card and then decided it needed some different color. And I still added more color onto it after it was already on the card. And here is the same one that we did in the blue. But I started this one with the green, with the Mojito. And I haven't put another color with it, but I feel like I want a second color with it. So I left it so that as we look at all these, you guys could suggest to me what color you think would go with that, and we'll try that out. So the first thing that I want to do, hi, Tiffany, welcome. I know, Joanne, that's what I said. I'm like, well, I'm not duplicating anything that I have. That is absolutely, without a doubt, for sure, because even the metallics that I have are not like this. So I did. And the good thing is there is only 10. There's only 10 of these. I have all 10 here so that you can see them. And so, it's not like you've got to buy 72 colors, but there are only 10. I don't know if they're planning to come out with more in the future. I really do hope so, because there's a couple of colors that I have in mind that I would really like to see. Look at that. Some of these colors are really going to surprise you when we get them out and get them on paper. I think I'll just open them all up so that I don't have to do it each time. And I'm hoping that will help me keep from sticking my fingers in them so much. I am really bad at that. I know. They really are a game changer. You can take anything and run some of the metallic over the top, around the edges, whatever, and really amp it up. I already have mixed colors in. Just got to wipe off the top, but look at that. That Sunshine is so pretty. I'm not usually one to jump on yellow for the first, right at the beginning. That yellow is really pretty. So first what I did here is just bring out some black and some white cardstock. And I want to just run through the colors and show you what they look like on both the white and the black. The blue is really juicy. Look how rich and gorgeous. This kind of reminds me of indigo. So it reminds me of Carrie. So I'm just going to do this. And I'm going to let it be like that. And let's see if I can get the camera down here a little farther. I'll put this up underneath here too. I'm going to let it be like this so that you can see when it's, full in the center, the dark rich, and I'll hold it up closer so you can see. But then as you go less and less, you can see the different shades that you could get. So if I turn the page, and I won't have to do this for everyone because once you see it, you'll know how it goes. But you can see the sheen that comes from it. You'll see more as we get more on there. But yeah, it's not a really bright metallic, whatever. It is a sheen. Oh, love it on the black. Look at that. That is just amazing on the black. It is so cool. And I really was, I won't say I was disbelieving. I was just thinking when she said they blend together and it's the first line of metallics that will blend together, I thought, oh, okay, how well could they really blend together? This is something we're going we're going to have to see if that really is so. This green, this is called Mojito. There are two greens, and I'll tell you the difference as we come to the second one. Oh, let's do the black. Didn't really think about how to set these up on my desk. Got brand new blending pads to use with them. So that is actually this one right here. Okay, so I might have to dig in and get a little more ink out of them. A couple of them last night I got some ink on. This one is called Love Struck, and it's what I would call fuchsia. Yeah, I really hope they come out with more. I love a really nice red and silver. I'll tell you about that when we come to the titanium. Okay, I'm holding the black up because it's probably a little more difficult to see, but that is the fuchsia on black. And I know you get the glare from the camera pickup, but really gorgeous color. Oh, the embossing folders. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I will show you the embossing folders. Okay, so let's see. Oh, okay. Y'all know, DM, this one makes me think of you. Orange is not my favorite color by any means. In fact, it's usually at the very, very bottom. And this, this orange might be, well, it is one of my top 3 favorites of all of these. It is, I mean, you can make, I look at it and I'm like, that's a good rusty orange, but it would also be a really cool pumpkin orange with some other dark highlights. There's so many different things I think you could do with this. It's not a big, bright, bold orange in your face. It's subtle yet, oh my goodness, look at that. It is the coolest. I love that. So this one is called Pumpkin, actually. Not orange. It is called Pumpkin. Those over. Okay, so I've got some brand new blending brushes here. Let's see what it takes to fill them. Oh, I can feel the juicy in them, which I really love. I want to get them nice and saturated. So this one is called Ultraviolet, and it is the purple. Ultraviolet. I also brought out these blending brushes. These are the domed ones because I want to see how some of the techniques work with domed ones. That is really pretty. And when you put them together side by side, I think that it makes some of them almost start to look like different shades of their color. That coastline is really bright, pretty blue. And then when I put it by these and that purple comes up here, now it looks turquoise to me, especially by the purple. Hi, Tammy. Thank you so much for your support. Oh, and I am excited to have you join our membership club. Look at that purple. Oh, gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Yes, welcome. Welcome. Thank you, Glennis, for welcoming her right away. We are going to be having a private clearance sale for the membership club coming up real soon for whatever it is that they want to see in the shop, because we are clearancing everything in the shop. So this one is called Titanium. Now, when I heard titanium, I immediately thought silver. I guess it is silver. It's more of a slate gray silver. Let's see, there was an angle there. Maybe that's the angle to get that. So I would love for them to come out with another one that's a brighter silver, more of a silver that we're familiar with. I should have put these closer together so I could get them all on one page. However, when I look at this titanium, what does it make you think of? I look at it and I see like industrial pipes, industrial gears. So if you get those, chipboard die cuts, or I have dies that will cut out gears and things like that. And in fact, did I bring? Oh, look how cool some of these would be on like a hot air balloon, or balloons with these metallics would be pretty. Feathers, dream catchers. Oh, what about a mask? Wouldn't that be gorgeous on mask like that? I was looking for, and all kinds of swirls and corner decorations. I brought all these out because I'm excited to just start cutting and try them out. Okay, this is the one I was thinking about. So the steampunk type clock. I can see cutting these out in titanium, and that would just be really pretty. And then you could add any other kind of highlight on it that you want. But that's really, to me, that's really nice industrial gray for all those things. Also have these dies. There's 3 dies, and you don't have to separate them so that you can run them through together. But they are chains. So 3 different types of chains. So if I run, you can even ink the paper first and then run them through the die cutter. And so you'd already have your titanium chains come out on the other side, which I think would be very cool. A metallic rainbow would be awesome. Okay, let's go on past titanium. Sunshine on my shoulders. Pewter. It does kind of look like pewter, doesn't it? Margie, thank you. Thank you so much for your support. Sure do appreciate you. Look at that sunshine. Right next to that dark gray cloud, we put the bright sunshine. And it is like sunshine with the metallic shimmer. So pretty. Yellow, again, is not a go-to for me, but how many things I could highlight with this sunshine that would look so awesome. Get it straight onto the black so you can see. I'm putting it on it, and it doesn't look like there's much there, but you can see that it's there. And as it dries, you can see now that these are dry, how much better they show. You can still see that these last ones are wet. So we'll give that sunshine a minute to dry, and it will show up even better. So, and when you're mixing, you can mix while they're wet, blending, I should say blending, not mixing. But if you want to layer, you need to let them dry in between. And by layer, I not only mean different colors, but if you want to layer the same color to get more intensity. So this one is called bronze. So let's get a bunch of bronze on here. It's going to take more to saturate that. Okay, here we go. Okay, there's bronze. And I want, when that one dries, you'll be able to see the bronze much better. At first, it kind of just looked like the titanium, just kind of gray. But as it dries, you'll see the bronze come out. So let's do bronze on the black paper. No, they are not interference, Lucy. And hi, anyway, welcome. When I did the workshop with her, she did a couple things after all of this. She said, you can use the interference inks with these. So she said, if you have the interference inks, you can mix them or blend them with these. This is the only set of metallic inks that is blendable with themselves, with each other, and with other inks. So you can blend them with any other inks that you have. And she pulled out a couple interference inks. And for those who are not familiar, those are Lisa Horton inks. And I don't have any of those. But she pulled them out and was using them with the interference inks. But the interference inks are not metallic. So this collection is the only metallic, but it does work with them. This one is Fool's Gold. Y'all know what Fool's Gold looks like? Let's get Fool's Gold on here. Yeah, I watched her do some techniques, and they were so cool. And I thought, I just have to play with them, because you know how it's all neat, but you try it the first time, and it's like, meh. But after you play with it for a while, you figure it out, and get the techniques down. I think for the most part, it's just a matter of getting familiar with the inks themselves. Now you can look at these and see how these are dry. See how vibrant the color is. And it doesn't have that like metallic in your face kind of thing that some do. They're just like jump out at you. It has a shimmer, and that may not come across on camera. In real life, there is a shimmer so that you can see the metallic shimmer, but they are not big, bold metallics otherwise. So that I do like. Okay, so let's see. Fool's Gold. I didn't do on the black, so let's do that. Yeah, I could have done these a little bit closer together, but I'll put it down here. Especially on the black. When you put it down, sometimes you struggle to see it very well. And if you just let it dry, as it dries, you can see on all of these now, you can see the color and the intensity come out as they dry. There's Fool's Gold on the bottom right here. Okay, and we have one more. This is also one of my favorites. This one is called Verdigris. 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 Now, it is, I will say loosely, it is a teal. You know how when you have teal, you could have a more blue teal or a more green teal? This is a more green teal, and you'll see that. Hi, Sarah. Welcome. So glad you made it. You'll see that down here. It is a more green teal, but if you put it next to the green, it looks way more blue. It looks turquoise. And because they blend, you can take the coastline down here, blend it with that, and make a more blue teal. So I love that. So it's a more green teal in real life. And as this dries and you can see that shimmer, you're going to love this. I don't know if that color is going to show up either. You know, some of these colors are looking kind of sort of the same as I'm looking at YouTube. And that's just the cameras. Trust me, they are not. I hate that we can't get accurate colors. In fact, this purple is probably showing up blue for you, just a darker blue than the coastline. It is not. It is purple. It is like a royal purple, like totally royal purple. So, so pretty. Okay, so this is a green teal, and I put it by this green. It now looks blue. But if it's not by that green, but if I take this blue and add some of that and blend them together, it will become more of a blue teal than a green teal. So I like where you can get multiple results or colors out of, one or two together without having to buy more inks. So that is 10. And as I said, there are only 10, at least right now in the set. There's the teal. I'm going to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, you can tell it looks blue. Oh, you can see but Phyllis, can you see the purple on that? Awesome. I know sometimes on some people's screens in YouTube, the purple shows up as blue. So I am going to try to keep my fingers somewhat clean over here so that as we do things, I won't just add ink fingerprints all over them. So for those who just came in the middle of the colors there, let me show you real quickly these. We won't spend much time on them, but these are the first time I picked them up and used them. These are some of the things I did, and they really motivated me to make some cards. So that is the coastline by itself, just the blue. That is the fuchsia flower. It has the Love Struck, which is fuchsia, and a little bit of the purple ultraviolet over the top of it. And that is the Coastline and Mojito together. And this is 4 or 5 different colors on the tulips. And this is the Coastline and the Mojito. And then with a little bit of sunshine added in at the end on the tips there. And the center of the flowers, that is just a gold gel pen. That's all that is. And this one I blended longer. And so it takes, the longer you blend, the longer it takes the shine or sheen, or the more it takes the shine or sheen down. So it's much less shiny than the others. Okay, so now you've got a good idea of the colors. We can keep this handy. But let me show you a couple of techniques. Before I do that, I just, before we went live, cut out a few things, because how fun is this? You can put the colors on directly on your paper and then just die cut them out. So that is Mojito and Coastline. This is also Mojito and Coastline. It's a 2-part die on the feather. The top is black, so I just cut that out of black cardstock and put it on the top. I did not color that at all. Aren't they gorgeous, Heather? Love the colors. Love the colors. Okay, this is a music decor. I have a lot of music decor dies, and this one I thought I put it on a piece of paper, a piece of black paper that I had just been trying them out on when I first was testing them, and tried to get it overlap a couple, so it'd kind of be like that rainbow you were talking about, Carrie. And then these are some Tim Holtz dies. They're frames, and again on paper that I had just tried out some of the colors. I just laid them on and cut them out. But those will be fun. And you could even, if you get to using it and you're like, oh, I need a little bit of blue in there, you take the blue and you run it over the top of that. You can completely change the color by what you're going to add there. And then I just cut this doily out, and it didn't take out all the little pieces, and I didn't have time to weed it before we started. But again, on the paper that I was just trying out the colors. So you can see right there where the colors kind of met. So lots of fun things that you can do with them there for embellishments or for card bases. So let me move that out of the way, and that. Okay, so in preparation, I went ahead, and embossed some pages so that we would have some, one moment, so we would have something embossed to work with. So I could show you that technique. Okay. So you can make the die cuts in white or in black. When I make them, I tend to I like to do both, because I never know what I'm actually going to want when it's time to use it. So these I just made in white and black, and then I can color them after the fact, or you can color the paper and then run that through, so you don't have to try to do color on the tiny dies, especially the more dainty they are, like the butterflies. But you can, like on those butterflies, you can, put whatever color you want on the paper, knowing where you're going to set it. I wanted to get just a piece to put underneath. I try to keep ink from the bottom or off the mat so it won't get all over everything. I'm trying not to sneeze again. Sorry, give me just 1 second. Heather, I agree. Recently had to buy a couple, and DM's the one that brought it up, and then I went to buy my own and went, oh my goodness, they're between $6 and $8, and that's the cheap ones per card. I've never been a card maker, but these metallics inspired me to make cards. And for that kind of money, absolutely. Okay, so let's see. Here is the daffodil. In honor of Glynis, I embossed some daffodils and a foxglove. I don't know what color foxgloves are. Do you guys? Are they like purple, lavender? Are they multiple colors? Here's just some like pillow top kind of emboss. Let me set those over here. And another one that's like that. So I have a black and a white daffodil. We could start with that because that wild ones are pink. Okay. I just didn't even know. Okay. So these embossing folders, I will show you those because a couple of you have mentioned those. They are actually very cool. I will show them to you. I'll give you the price and all of that right now, so you have time to think about those. And the reason I'm doing this today is because I don't intend to stock these. I don't intend to keep these in stock. So today, they just came out yesterday. Yesterday was literally the first day that they were available to the public. And so I had already got them. You know, we were able to do a pre-order and actually got some of these in the kit that I did with the, you know, for the workshop. But I do like to try them out before bringing them to you, because if they're not great, I don't even want to show them to you. And not that everything isn't great, but we all know everything isn't always great. So foxes like to match their gloves with their paws. So does that mean red? Oh no, they're white then. Light pink to lavender. Okay. Pinkish purple, pink, light pink to lavender, and okay. Okay. Cool. All right. We'll take a look at that in a second. So Lisa brought out, with the metallic inks, she brought out this set of embossing folders called A Year in Bloom. There are 12 embossing folders. They are all 3D embossing folders. They are nice and deep. I think you can probably see that. Easier to see on the cards that I already showed you. And you'll see as we do the first technique I'm going to show you, you know that they're deeper. This technique wouldn't work. So I do really like that. What that means is that you can use really good quality, heavy duty cardstock if you want to. So they really will hold up to that. In fact, some of the ones that are 3D are so deep that if you don't use a good quality cardstock, they end up tearing them or cutting them. So I think I have these in order, but let's see, there we are. January, February, March, April, May, June. I want to show you the pictures because you can see a little easier. July, August, September, October, whoop, don't fall, November, and December. Okay. Okay, here we go. September goes before October. There we go. Okay, so this is the pack of 12. Some of these are empty because I've got them over here on the stack to use or just use them. So January is a crocus. The other thing I liked is these embossing folders are 5x7. So this is the poppies, but that just means that they're nice and big. So if you, glove can't get a hold of it. So if you don't want to use the whole thing, you don't have to, but you have big enough. Where did I even set those? Oh, you have big enough that if you want something larger, you can get it. So most of these, you can see, these are not 5x7 card centers. In fact, the whole thing is pretty close to 5x7, but that's just a portion of it. So you can cut this piece to whatever size you want and then set it wherever you want in the embossing folder and then run it through. That's what I did on those because I didn't want 5x7. And then if I add a 1/4 inch and then I add a 1/2 inch, they were going to be huge cards. And I didn't want them that big. Okay, so January is crocus. February is violets. This would be cool, I think, run through inked up metallic and then cut into sections to use as borders. I think that'd be really pretty. January's carnations, I know. No, they are not intended to be the birth flower for each month. They are intended to be, she's in the UK, so, you know, take it with a grain of salt. But they're intended to be flowers that are blooming in that time of the year. And she said that's not always true across the pond. in this case, we are across the pond. So March is daffodils. So pretty. April is tulips. So all the tulip ones I did, I just chose a section of it. Love the peonies. The blue one, the blue and green one, and the green alone, those are all peonies. Just took a section. There's the foxgloves. We'll have to do like pink and lavender on that. There's daisies. August is the dahlia. One of those I had is dahlia, or I might have already used that for something. I didn't have that. The daffodils are really pretty. I love this one too. The September is fuchsia. So the fuchsia flower, they look like little angels hanging there. I think you could make a really pretty holiday card with this. Those look like little angels. But October is the thistle. That'll be pretty too. Get some purple on the thistle and some green around it. I love poppies. California poppies are my favorite. November is poppies. And that's part of the reason I'd like a really nice red from them. And December is winter flowers. So if you look closely, you can see holly leaves and holly berries. There's pine cones. There is this up here are like pine boughs that come off of a pine tree. And so it's not specifically Christmas. It's more just winter type flowers. And maybe that's why she didn't do poinsettia, because maybe that is more, I don't know, too specifically Christmas. And she really wanted them to be usable for everybody for the whole season or the whole year, even not just for a holiday. So let me get these back out of the way over here. That arm doesn't bend that way, so it just takes me an extra minute to move around there. Winter rose. Hi, Julie. Welcome. Good to see you. They are so pretty. Okay, so here are the daffodils. Let's take the daffodils. And, of course, we want to use the sunshine on the daffodils. But do we want to use another color too? And I am experimenting with this. I have not done this at all with the daffodils. This is the first time I even embossed the daffodils. So, you know, I like to experiment in front of you. So if it doesn't work, you can see and, you know, try and do, you know what, before we do that, we can test those colors on one of these. These are like Sizzix type of, you know, pillow type tops. We can test those colors and see what we like. What would you guys put with the sunshine, with the yellow? I was thinking maybe a little bit of the pumpkin, but maybe would you go fool's gold instead or bronze? What would you do? Because it might be kind of boring just to have the whole thing of daffodils just be that yellow without some depth. So throw out some suggestions there. Oops, got an alarm. It was supposed to be stopped. Crazy pickles are daffodils. Margie, some days you are so quick it slays me. Okay, this is just getting the bare top of those pillows. And I can see that the other color I used it with is coming off, and it's come off and it's all yellow now. So that's good. A little titanium. Okay. All right, we can try titanium. So just taking this, because they're 3D, and this is a Sizzix, so this is not one of those flowers, but because they're 3D, it should work the same on the Sizzix. They seem like a decent, they're not 3D, but they seem like a decent embossed. You can take this and just run it over the top, and you're going to say, oh, it's hardly putting anything on there. And it is. And then you let it dry for just a minute, and then you do it again and again, and then you keep building the intensity of that if you want more. Titanium. I would not have thought of that. Let's try titanium. Would you do that on the black or on the white with it, or on both, Glynis? So here's another thing, and this is making me think of this. I could take this piece of white cardstock and do the titanium with the blending brush all over it, and then run it through that embossing folder to get the pattern. and then come back and do the yellow, the sunshine on top of it to get that as the highlight on there. Does that make sense? Because if I'm doing, Margie, don't laugh at me for saying, does that make sense? If I do this, this is going to put titanium across the top, just like it did the yellow. And this is not a good embossing folder to even try this on. So I just learned a really big lesson there, because this has like little peaks on every one of those little pillow things. That's not a good option. And I'm thinking that you would prefer the titanium to kind of be an accent, you know, in the back. So if I inked the whole page, then ran it through, and then did the gold on top, that would probably give me that dimensional look, where this is just piling it on top of the one up on top of those pillows. So, okay, I'm going to call this kind of a failure. However, it's not done yet, because I'm going to let them dry and we can completely change them. You could also turn it over and use the backside if you wanted to, but we can completely change them. We can let it dry. You could also come in even while it's still wet and start doing this, especially while it's wet, because you can blend that titanium around that's sitting up on top. And I'm doing it really softly. So it's a very gentle blend, but I'm doing it really softly because I don't want to flatten out the embossed sections. That really got a whole bunch right there. That's where the sentiment would have to go. Okay, so that put a little titanium behind, which actually, wow, that is really interesting. Okay, so it's kind of made it grungy. However, look really closely at the pattern. Look at those stark white lines around it. And so you've got kind of like grungy background, but yet the lines between them are stark white. And then what if we put some yellow right over the top? The yellow and titanium together kind of make a green. They kind of make a green. So that's kind of interesting. I'll probably let that one dry a bit and maybe play with it some more. I'm going to set it off to the side and see if this one will blend out at all. It's probably already dry, but yeah, not so much. Okay, could put more ink on it and then blend it out a little bit. So, all right. So that wasn't a great experiment. That's why we do this. Killing Me Softly with Metallic. That's a great song, by the way. Vintage greenery, greeny gold, kind of. Vintage greeny gold, kind of. That could be like the fool's gold would be very much that, I think. So I'm going to put this back here, and let's go ahead and take the real one. Let's see what I can do to destroy the real one now. All right, so this is the actual Lisa Horton embossing folder, so it is 3D, so it is nice and deep. And so if I take because I haven't been very good about keeping the other colors off of them. If I take the sunshine and just very gently run it across the top, because it is 3D, it sticks up far enough that it's not getting anything on the background, only on the flowers. And I'm just making sure that I got all of them. And then I'll just give it, 30 seconds to dry. And then I'll go back and add more, and it will start to increase the depth of color and start to pop. Even that right there is really pretty, just with the, I'm sure you're not getting the same sheen that I get in real life, but let's try the black one at the same time. It's cool. I've been anxious to use the daffodils, but I decided to save it for today, so we could try it with Glennis at the same time. So this set of embossing folders, there's 12 of them, the 3D 5x7 embossing folders. They are a limited edition set. They can only be purchased as a set. They do not sell them individually. But you know, if two of you wanted to get a set and split them, that's certainly okay. But I can only order them in sets. Look at that, Glennis. That is cool on the black. And that's only one layer of sunshine on there. So just barely going over it. So it's like getting the edges. That is really pretty. So the set retails at $134. $135, $134.99 probably. So we'll say $135. It retails at $135. So if you're here today and you want that entire set of a Year in Bloom embossing folders, and you can put it in chat, and any of the admin, if you could write these down for me, or I can go back and look at chat later if I need to. If you can write that down, that would be very helpful. Today, you can have 10% off. Because these only came out yesterday, I'm kind of sticking my neck out there to do 10%. They are brand new. A lot of the stores don't even have them in yet because we only pre-ordered them a week ago. But, you know, I always try to do some Happy Paper People discounts. So 10% off if you want them today. So that is the embossing folder set, $135 minus 10%. So if you say you want them, put it in chat. I can add them to the invoices from Saturday's sale, minus 10% on that, of course. If you want them invoiced separately, we can do that as well. And if you were at the sale on Saturday, I know you do not have an invoice yet. I ended up back at the hospital on Sunday. Got home at 4:30 this morning. So I will be working on those this afternoon, doing my best to get them out to you as quickly as possible. So I know I said that we were going to have them out on Sunday, and I really, really intended to, and I apologize. Okay, I'm going to give the white one another layer because I'd really like to see some sunshine intensity against the white. Okay, so when you do that, it of course grabs the edges really nicely. So what you can do is take one of the little finger daubers, and if you want to get more than the edges, get some of the ink or some of the any of your blending tools that are small. We have the long skinny ones that you got in subscription boxes, and different companies sell those as well. But I can take this finger dauber, it is plenty small, and just get deeper into the flower if I want to get a little more color in there. And if I do this, even if it's all kind of all the same, but I've got some color down there, then I'll let it dry. Then I'll run over it again by swiping it with the pad, because then it's only going to pick up the edges, and the edges will continue to get darker while the inside will stay just what I put on it. And that will not get darker. And so we'll still have a variation of color, because of course it's that variation that gives you the perspective, besides the 3D embossing, of course. And then if you want afterwards, you can go back with a gel pen or a foil marker or something and get the stamen in the middle, or that you could even do a green and get the stems. I can not go over the stems with this because they didn't pick up a lot, because I kind of just did it over the flowers. They picked up some. Okay, so that's adding more into the flower itself. And you can see how as it builds, you get more and more. And I really like that because you can stop wherever you like it. It's not a one and that's it. You know, this everybody gets the same. I could give each one of you this same one and you'd all come out looking differently, because you'd put different amounts, different layers. So if we do the same on the black so that we can see the difference. There's the black. Wow. That's looking really cool. Oh, you guys already have ideas? That's awesome. Remember the combinations that you're thinking of, because I'm going to ask you for a couple combinations to try, because that to me is part of the experimenting. So I'm going to run back over this just with the sunshine. And my purpose here is trying to get more intensity just on the edges, because this really only picks up on the edges when I do it this way. So the centers will stay what I did with the blending brush, and the edges now get a little more intensity. Oh my goodness, that is so pretty. Even by itself, I would probably do a 1/4 inch black around it, like this one's a 1/4 inch white, and then put it on a white card base. I wonder what the flowers and the grunge kit would do together. Ooh, Glennis, I'm in for the peony and wood. Oh, you guys thinking about how to split them up, because you each want some different ones. I think that's awesome. It is a lot, and it is a lot of embossing folders. So, if you each want a couple, you can do a lot with a couple. Because you can do large. You could cut this down and just get a very small section. You can get different sections every time you do that. So yeah, I think it's a fantastic idea to split them. Of course, if you love flowers and you want them all, go for it. Okay, so there is black and white, same embossing folder. If I turn that one that way and that one that way, you kind of get a better. I know it's so hard to see when they're metallic. The camera just doesn't like it. It reflects all the time. Okay, awesome. That is really cool. Now, the other thing I could do, I could, before, well, I think we talked about this. Before even embossing this, could do the whole paper in some color. Okay, this might ruin it, but it might not. I just have to try it. What if I add a tiny bit of pumpkin? What if I add just a tiny bit of pumpkin? It is so pretty. This pumpkin is so gorgeous. I can't resist. I have to try this. Oh, all right. I personally like that even better. What do you guys think? And you might do the same thing with titanium, especially on the white. So you get titanium edges instead of pumpkin edges. I like that a lot. Looks more natural. Yeah, because they're not just the exact same shade of yellow all the way around. I like it. I like it a lot. In fact, I'd probably go in with the blending brush that's a small and just hit a couple of places where it just needs it, but in a very small place. So I can do that later. Let's see what it does on the black. Why not? We got to try. Oh, okay. If you guys like, if you like rust ink and you want a rust metallic, this is the one. This pumpkin is the one. It's, wow. Look at that. I'm kind of flabbergasted by that one. That is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. The pumpkin with the sunshine on the black. Wow. Yeah, put some green on the leaves, green on the stems. Okay, that is really, really cool. Where are there they are. I'm going to set these over here to dry. And let's do these, what are they called? Foxgloves. Oh, set something on that and it leaked right onto it. Oh, my wet baby wipe. Okay, foxgloves. You said pink. It is stunning, isn't it, Joanne? I like that a lot. I'm telling you, that pumpkin has blown me away. The pumpkin, I love this coastline blue, and it blends with so many others and makes, I like them all. I would, even if I didn't, I did. I only got 2 of them in the kit for the workshop. And that's why I thought, okay, well, if anything, I'll just have 2 of them because they can't be that great. And then before the workshop was even over, I had placed my order for the rest of them because I wanted all of them. They were that cool. So the teal that you can change from green teal to blue teal, this is one of the best purples that I've ever seen. And this Love Struck, which is a fuchsia. And I love the yellow, the Sunshine. I have yellows in other sets, and they're not all, there's a couple yellows in the Distress that I do really like, but this is a nice, pure, true yellow. And man, mix it with that pumpkin. That is stunning. That is totally stunning. Wouldn't that be cool with a piece of metallic paper as that 1/4-inch border around it on a card? Yeah. Anyway, okay, foxgloves. You said pink, and yeah, Q-tips. Yes, pinks or purples for neighboring flowers and shadows. Yes. Okay, so you said like pink, light pink to violet. Well, this is kind of fuchsia and a nice dark purple, but we can, let's see, I can go really light. It's going to come out different on the white and the black. So what if I do the fuchsia first and then come in with the purple as the highlight or as the depth around the edges? Does that sound like what foxgloves are? I can't even picture them in real life. I know what they are when I look at that picture and I love them, but I can't picture their colors at all in real life. So what do you guys think? Should we start with this fuchsia? I'm just gonna. Oh my gosh. Okay, I love this fuchsia on black. And I always have to tell myself, give it a minute, let it dry before you add more. Okay, there's not enough everywhere, but let it dry before you add more so you don't just smear it around, but you're actually layering it to get depth. So if you see that, and then you can see each layer, how it improves or increases. Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh shoot, I tilted that's okay. I'm okay with that. I could fix that. I tilted the ink pad right there, and I didn't mean to. So really just got the big flat places and the edges, but I'll let that dry for just a minute and go over it again. And this is one, I said, I can see all those little tiny seeds that are in the middle. Is that the stamen that are in the middle of each tiny little flower? But this is one that I could see totally doing the tiny blending brush to get down inside these, and then coming back with the ultraviolet, the purple, to hit the edges as that accent. Unless you guys are now going to tell me that the flowers should be purple down inside and the fuchsia should be the accent. I don't know. I don't know my foxgloves. I'm going to go look them up after this. I know Jen sent one. I just not taken time to go pull it up and look at it. There is some greenery, and you could do that in green if you wanted. So I'm going to kind of leave it at that. More is less is more, and then you can add more. Put darker on the bottom half. You could fussy cut the top and glue onto a different color. Yeah, you could. You could. That'd be cool on black if you fussy cut that out. Oh, I did it again. Did it again. Okay, so let's go back and add a little more down here. And also go the opposite direction. See that on the edge didn't really get. Okay, so Glenna, since you're discussing splitting up the embossing folders, I'm assuming you're writing all that down for me. I appreciate that, doing that. Okay, so that is the embossing folders. Now the inks, there are 10 inks available. They are $10 each. And and that's the retail, I will do them at 10% for today's orders. So that's basically, excuse me, that's basically if you want 9 or if you want all 10, you pay for 9 and you get the 10th free. That's what that is. Okay, you said a little more intense on the bottom. I want to go back and add the ultraviolet to this. So giving them just a minute to dry. We have a complete set. Awesome. And you know who gets what. That's perfect. Okay, and you can see on here where it's wet and where it's dry, and see how the color even changes. It deepens and gets richer as it dries. So I'm going to let that one dry for another minute because I can tell I got it a little thicker right down there. So I'm going to add just a little bit of this purple, ultraviolet. It's really pretty on the thistle. And maybe those aren't the right colors. Maybe it should have been another a lavender from another from Lisa's other inks, or from another brand. Keep saying another and can't get the word out. From another brand of inks mixed with the metallic to make the light purple and the dark purple, or the same with the pink. A lighter pink from another brand, or Lisa's other ones, and then the Love Struck, which is like the fuchsia, as the darker one. So that might be the way to go. And that's, you don't know until you try. Don't be afraid to try. As Julie said, it's only paper. It's only paper. So if this turns out like just don't like it, then throw it away. The other thing is, if you look at it as a whole and it's not great as a whole, cut it up into 2.5 by 3.5 ATC size, back it with another piece of paper, or cardstock, so it's a little thicker to make an ATC, and then put something on it. Because when you do that, you can cover up anything like this that I accidentally did, and you have a beautiful background, and you can see the flowers there, but you don't have to look at the whole thing if you think, that just doesn't cut it for me to keep that and use that as a whole. I won't use this as a card. It's just not, sorry, it's not good enough. But right now I'm not worried about making cards. Right now I'm testing colors and techniques and just seeing what works and what doesn't. So now we've added some of the purple with the fuchsia. You can see where it is, and we'll see as it dries how it changes. Okay, what other colors do you want to see? We can do something with some other colors. I will set this aside and let it keep drying. Oh my goodness, look at this one. Okay, now that this is dry, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking that it could even use a little bit more of that dark, the pumpkin, in only certain places. And so not a swipe over, but more of a finger dauber to get some depth. Like down in at the base of some of these flowers. The lighting is not helping me right there. Or maybe you only do the centers, or maybe you do the tips. Whatever it is that you like. There's so many different ways you can do them. I wasn't thrilled to see all those embossing folders. I paid for that in the kit. Oh my goodness. I am so glad I did. I love them. So some of them I did down at the base, and others I'm doing the tip because that's where it got when we swiped over, and the black becomes the depth down there. And I really like that. So I can cut this up later if they're not all uniform. That's totally fine, because right now I'm experimenting with what will the color do. What can I get from the color? Okay, look how much more depth we got just by adding a little more of the pumpkin, but not everywhere. That's awesome. Really, really awesome. The verdigris. Yeah, that's a good one. Excuse me. Okay, let's let that completely dry. And we'll come back to it. So this one's drying, and as it dries, it gets more intense. Then, as we've got a dark and then a darker on it, then I'm thinking we need something light on that. So I'd let that completely dry and then find something light to come back and highlight, maybe to highlight the tops and some parts of it that are picking up the light. Because it is a lot of dark. It's gorgeous, but it's still a lot of dark on dark. So just let it dry. Just let it dry. See what you get when it's all dried. And then come back. This one is the peony, and all I did was swipe the blue, let it dry, and then swipe the green, the coastline and the mojito. The verdigris. Let's do something with the verdigris. What else do we have over here? Oh, let's try a couple of these little guys. These are little medallions. I think this is a Tim Holtz die and embossing folder in one. So it's got, let's see, it's got some deep down in. If I swipe over the top, I'm going to try the domed foam brush, foam blender, the domed foam blender, and see if that will kind of get down in there. Because I want to get it on the whole thing. And obviously we're going to get more on the raised parts, which I like. And you can do just a little bit and get it really light. I keep going until I get the intensity of color that I like, but you can stop at right at the beginning and have it a really nice light teal. You can do that on any of them. Okay, so there's just our first layer. Let's try it on the black while that one dries. Ooh. I have an idea. I have an idea for this to see how we can, let's see. I don't know if they have to be wet to blend together. So we're going to find out. Wow, look at that teal on the black. Okay, I want a little bit more on this as a base. And then I'm going to basically cut it in half with my eye. And I'm going to add more green to one side to make it a more green teal. And I'm going to add the blue to the other side to make it a more blue teal. And I don't know what it's going to do. We are going to find out. But this is how we experiment and figure it out. Oh, love that. Love, love, love that. Okay, let's try the black at the same time. That verdigris had a really nice sheen of its own on the black. The blue has made it a little too dark on the black, is my opinion. So you can see the line from finger to finger, kind of right down the middle. The verdigris on the left has a really nice shine. When I added the coastline, the blue, it is, it's still nice. And as it dries, it will have a much better sheen, but it kind of takes away from that verdigris. It makes it really dark on the points that come up. So let's do the same thing with the mojito on the other side. Wow. So whether you like green teal or blue teal, you know, they've got to have a green base or a blue base, whichever one you really prefer, you can totally make here. Love them both. Love them both. Glad to have the option. Okay. And I would totally do it, leave it just like that. It's like one blending to the other. So the verdigris on the bottom, on the left is the coastline on top of it, and on the right is the mojito. So it makes more of a blue teal and more of a green teal. But I love the way that it just variegates. The ketchup on using the purple on top of the foxglove on the black makes it look like you've taken a long exposure at night. Oh, that's cool. This is a medallion, the Tim Holtz one that comes with the heart. It didn't come with a heart. It is a Tim Holtz. It's an embossing folder, actually. It's one of those little tiny embossing folders. Here it is. Little tiny embossing folder that has the die right in it. Oyster color, grayish white. Oh, that would be good too. Here's the other thing. She said, if you have a white that you don't care about, getting other colors on, bring a white, because we did white over the top. I have a couple of whites that I don't really care about. This one I had standing on end all weekend, and I can see that the ink has drained down there. That's interesting. I'm going to have to stand it this way and get it draining back. But we did some white over the top. Okay, I've got to add the what is that, mojito to this side of the black one to see if it changes that. I need to cut out, or just emboss and cut out a whole bunch of these little medallions. These are awesome. There you can see the line right down the middle. So verdigris on the bottom and adding the coastline blue on the top. Did I do that upside down? No, I guess I didn't. And the mojito on the right. Which do you like better? That combination on black or on white? Or does it just depend what you're using it for? Yeah, a 3D heart. They would look awesome on that. I have a lot of heart dies. And I might even have an embossing folder. I'd have to check. Like it on the white. Yeah, I can see using that a lot. Nice embellishment there. Okay, I'm going to pull this back because it's some parts it was really heavy and it's still drying a little bit there. But now we can kind of see the fuchsia and the purple. And it does need something really light in order to get some more contrast there. And as this one has dried, look at what the daffodils are doing. I love this one. Sorry, Glynis, you can't have it. I love this one. It's really pretty. Okay, so that was a nice experiment. We also have that die has two medallions in it. One is small, one is large. I find the other ones. So there are a couple of small medallions. I thought they were hanging out right here. Maybe they're in here. There they are. I can see them. Okay. Yeah, because we could do the small medallions with other things as well. So look at this one. This one is mojito. And that's all that is on there at this point. And it has had plenty of time to completely dry. What color would you like to see with mojito over the top of that on black? Swiping one side of those foxgloves with a white or silver. Yes, that's a great idea, Jen. Moonlight. I love that. I love that. I will try that. I'll go side to side and just go one direction. So it picks up just on that side. That's a really fantastic idea. What would you like to see with mojito? That is the green up here. I don't know, any color you want. We'll try with it. I think I need to let it completely dry. I can still see a couple wet spots where that purple was really thick. Wet. I don't smell anything at all. I don't smell anything at all. I used them in her workshop, and I used them yesterday when I was playing and making these things for today, and then today. And at no point did I think, oh, because I have two windows in my studio here, and like alcohol inks or fingernail polish or things like that, I have to open the windows. But there was no point where I thought, oh, maybe I should open windows, or that I even recognized that there was any odor. Now, I hope that means that there isn't, and there wouldn't be for you. But I do not smell one. I do not smell an odor. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there are. We hardly ever burn candles anymore because of that, Joanne. But some of the wax that you get from melting, is that what you're talking about? The melting wax? Some of that is pretty bad too. Yeah, I definitely want to try that. As soon as this one completely dries, we will try that white. And let's see here. We could do something with these. We can play and completely change them up. And I've got two more bases. These were Sizzix bases right here that we can play with as well. But I'm curious as to what color. Oh, metallic wax. Oh, it works like this? Oh, but it smells bad. That's interesting. I have never used that, so I can't even comment on that. I'm going to mute for just a quick second and blow my nose. Okay, much better. Thank you. My cat wasn't asleep on me. I'd go look at the brand. Metallic wax. Yeah, I'm curious. Okay. You talking about like the Finnabar wax that let's see here. There's in a tube. I have some Finnabar wax that is in a tube that I would just take out and spread over something. Is that what you're talking about? I know some of the waxes come in. My brain was totally somewhere else, Joanne. I apologize. I haven't had much sleep today. Got home at 4:30 this morning, and I did get 3 hours. But I know some of them come in a jar. But I do have some Finnabar waxes that you squeeze out of a tube. Yours are round containers, so round in a jar. I'm going to have to check those tubes too. But yeah, the jar things, if they have odor like that, that drives me crazy too, because it usually gives me a headache. If I have it open for a few minutes and keep working with it, I end up with a headache. And that I don't like, because then it takes too long to get rid of it. Okay, so anybody have an idea of color to go with the mojito? I've already done the coastline with it, the blue, so we don't want to do that. We could try the sunshine. We could try the pumpkin. A fuchsia. What about fuchsia and mojito? I don't know. What color combinations would you like to see tried? Are you all thinking that, those of you who said, yeah, I love metallics, I really need some of these. Are you thinking you'll just get the whole set? Buy 9, get 1 free? Are you thinking you're going to pick and choose a few to start with? Or what are y'all thinking? Maybe don't really worry about what blends together, because you're going to get them all and you can just try it all on your own. And that's okay too. I do want to try something with this one though. I'm kind of curious as to what the sunshine would do, if it would do anything at all. A little bit. That's just like a highlight, like the sun is shining on it. Interesting. Okay. What else goes really nicely with green? I'm kind of curious about that pumpkin too. Although I really love the mojito and the coastline together. Remember those two as a great combination, mojito and coastline. And then remember your verdigris, which is the teal, the teal with the mojito to make it a green teal, the teal with the coastline to make it a blue teal. So let's see. What if we, all right, what would you put with purple? What do you want to see with purple? I'm going to grab one of these blending brushes over here. I figure I probably don't need to really show you guys how to make the cards. Most of you know how to do that, and some of you are excellent card makers. And so if you know what inks you want, Glennis, if you wrote down the embossing folders, would you write down the inks as well for me? If anybody who knows what inks they want, if you put it in the chat. And if you want the whole thing, buy 9, get 1 free, just put whole set. That would be easier. And then if you want specific ones, then you'll need to list which specific ones. That order will go in this week. So if you're thinking about it and you're not sure, but you're here today, you can still get that discount on this order only. Again, I'm not going to stock them because we've got to do more clearance sales and move stuff out. We've got way too much stuff. So I'm not going to, bring a bunch in and stock them. And that's why we'll just do this as a pre-order. If the order goes in this week, they will be here next week. And if you know today and you have an order of anything from Saturday, I can add it on to the same invoice. And if you prefer a separate invoice, let me know. You can always shoot me a message afterwards. Okay, I got a bunch of ink and I just set it flat right on there, and I shouldn't have done that. Just like any other blending brush that we do, you got to go in already swiping in your circle. You set it down flat while you're talking and not paying attention. That's what you get. That's what you get. Okay, so there's like a lavender base. It probably looks blue on YouTube. Mine does, but it is actually the purple. So it is actually a nice lavender base. What color do you think would look great with lavender? What colors would you like to see together? Now this, actually doing it this way, I was able to get a nice light lavender, not that dark, rich purple that is on there. And maybe that's what we need for some of the other things. And then I'm thinking, then if I go in on, let's see, if I use a smaller one of these and get some fuchsia. It's not holding the chink. I was thinking green, one of the greens. Okay. How about the teal? Actually, yeah, that purple and the coastline blue and the verdigris, the teal, are the peacock colors. If you're wondering, like, you can't tell on camera and you're wondering how intense are they or what tone or shade are they, this coastline blue, ultraviolet purple, and the verdigris, which is the teal, those 3 are your peacock colors. My favorites. I know there's a lot of you that like peacock colors, so I figured that would make sense. Yeah, I'm not doing very well with remembering to not just slap the thing down on there flat and get a big old blob. Okay, so you can see the fuchsia mixed in, besides all my big old blobs there. But on my YouTube, it does look blue. It looks blue and pink, making it purple. But in real life, it is actually purple and fuchsia, making a different shade of purple. But I still see the purple and the fuchsia separately. So that's kind of cool. Okay, would it destroy it to add some of a green now, even though I put the fuchsia on? That is kind of a cool embossing design, isn't it? That's a Sizzix, I'm pretty sure. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, Excuse me. So sorry. I'm pretty sure I can check that, Carrie, and show it to you later. I'm pretty sure that that's just a generic Sizzix, a general Sizzix one. What do you think about green on top of that now? How about this teal, this verdigris? Ooh. Okay, now I'm doing this and I'm looking at it and going, okay, now look on hindsight, what I would have done is the teal in one section, the fuchsia in another, the purple in another, maybe even a little bit of the blue, blended them together at the edges, but not just totally overlap each other. Whoops, way too much right there. They are gorgeous together. I don't necessarily need them all stacked, but I would do that on paper and then have them blend wherever there's edges, and then do that on white, and then let them dry, and then die cut out of that paper. Those are really pretty. Oh, wow. All that looks like is just a dark blue mess on my YouTube. Does your YouTube look the same? That is almost unbelievable how different that looks. Doesn't look anything like what's on my YouTube. Oh, that's crazy. That is really crazy. Let's try that on the black. Let's see what happens on the black. And maybe I'll start out by putting them kind of next to each other instead of on top of each other. So there's the teal. And I think I'll put the blue next to that, because I might even let that one overlap and make it a blue teal. There's the coastline. Carrie, you were talking about that one, right? Not this one. This is a mess color-wise, but it's a cool pattern with the white, whatever they are, flowers or something. Yeah, that's weird. What I just saw on my YouTube is not at all what this looks like. That's really strange. I'll have to take a picture of it and put it in the group so you can see how different it really is. This is not grabbing any ink. I wonder if it's coated in, oh yeah, coated in paint or something. Okay. Get a little bit of blue going there. All right, hang on. This is a high enough emboss. There we go. There we go. Get some of that there, and then let them kind of blend together. Okay, so in addition to that, then the fuchsia, let's do that right over here. And the purple, just try them all out. These would be really stunning just done on white paper, all blended at the edges, and then just die cut stuff out of them. That'd be so cool. Okay, so this also shows something else that I didn't even think about. So this is a good way to show you that. So the green, the teal at the beginning, I started blending it with a brush, so it got down behind the flower as well, not just the flower. And then I took these, I just swiped it over the top, and so it only got color on the top of the flower. So and neither is wrong or right, just keep it in mind that if you want color behind, then you need to use a brush very softly so it doesn't destroy your emboss, but that'll get color down inside. And then you could even go over the top of that with another color so that you have a background of one color. Here we go. A background of one color. See the background of the teal, and over the top is the blue. That's how you get that. Okay, there's another way to get those. I don't really want to do it. What Lisa did was take her embossing folder and inked the embossing folder So she would open this up and she would take the ink on the blending brush and put all the inks, all the colors, whatever she wanted, all over here, and then put the paper on and then emboss it, and it came off. You do it right away so it doesn't just completely dry. But then you really have to clean these up, and eventually it will stain. Will stain. It'll just kind of probably yellow it. She had one that was a little bit yellowed because she'd done it so much on that one. I don't really want to do that on my embossing folders. So I would prefer to ink the paper and then emboss, which gives you the background effect. But that's how she did. That's how she got background on, say, the daffodils. So she would do maybe like a titanium or a bronze background, and then the sunshine flowers, something like that. And that's how she did that. But I would do the paper. Okay, now that this is dried and the pumpkin is dry, I'm going to run over it with a little bit more sunshine just to bring out the highlight, like the sunshine is hitting it and highlighting, and so the yellow comes out a little bit more. I really like that a lot. All right, Glennis. I'm assuming on all those embossing folders that you're getting the daffodil. Is that correct? I'm assuming you would not want to be a part of that if you didn't get the daffodil. They look like a gas slate. They do. Yeah, you are so right. That's hilarious. Yeah, but that's how the different ways that you can get the background. And if you don't want the background, don't use a brush that's going to go down in between. Just use something flat that's going to go across the top, not sunshine on that. But those colors together are really awesome. This could be cut up or used that way. Even that as a background. And then if you put, I don't know, whatever you're putting on it, and whatever you're putting on it goes over where the things are, where they meet, then you don't see any of the lines. Not that those are great embellishments for that, but you just have the background in the different colors. So, okay. So can you spritz these with water to get a drop ring look? Oh, that's a really good question. Okay, DM, tell me exactly what you want to see. On like white cardstock? White cardstock, put the ink and then spritz that with water. Just want to make sure I understand the process. Blend one color with brush, and then when dry, put color on top. Sounds pretty. Yeah, and it really is. Like that blue and green are really nice together because now we have green behind, but blue on top. Yep, okay, so let's try the teal. It's right here. So we've got teal. I'm going to put nice, rich amount there, and we're going to spritz that with water. See what happens. This is not a very thick cardstock, but I don't really see anything happening. As it dries, it goes back to the metallic shine. No, it doesn't look like, okay, where there was just a little bit, it kind of sort of did, but not where I put, a nice good coverage. It didn't really do anything to it. It got it wet, but then as soon as it dried, it went right back to the metallic shine. Obviously not very water reactive there, Julie. And the cards that I have made, I have handled those, I don't know how many times this week, a lot. And I don't get any ink on me at all, only when it's fresh and I'm using the ink pads because I'm just a mess with those. So I should always wear gloves, but yeah, no. So it is permanent once it's on, which is the one, let me put these back here out of the way so I don't, yesterday, I stuck my whole arm in the sunshine and I had sunshine all the way up and down my arm. Not very funny. We can put another color with this one. I'd like to take this foxglove here and swipe it with the white. I don't know how old these whites are. They're very, very old. I've had them forever, and I just don't really use them much. I mean, it is very rare that I use them. This is Umbrella Crafts white pigment ink, which is what she said, to use a white pigment ink. Okay, so Jen, should I swipe from top to the bottom like it's catching the top? Or should I swipe side to side like it's going from one side? I think top to bottom, don't you? DM, I'll try that. We'll try putting multiple colors down. That's a good idea. I'm going to try that. I'm going to try. I hope that there's enough ink in this pad because I didn't end up using it during the. Oh. Whoo. All right. First of all, too much white. Too much white. I'm not familiar with that white enough because I don't use it. So I would say become familiar with it before you do that. You can always use a tissue or a paper towel. And if it's really wet, you can blot it to make it dry faster or to try to pick up extra. This is not really picking up any. It seems fairly dry. And maybe that's why it came off. Oh, look, I did it already. I did it again. I get ink all the way on the underside of my arm because I stuck it on this. Maybe that's why it came off so thick, off the pad so thick, is because it is drier. That's a possibility. I could, let's see. I don't think I have a refill for that, but it feels like it's got plenty in it. Maybe even just a spritz of water and then let it sit. Because I think the concept would work. Oh, you like it? You think it looks okay? Yeah, you don't think that that's too much white? It felt like it was too much white. Make a pretty little card, though. With a sentiment cut out of metallic paper. It'd be really pretty. Leave the dark strips, okay? Okay, I won't change a thing on it. I will just let it completely dry. All right, what color are we going to put with this green? I'm going to wrap up here pretty soon. Let me not get into the white. Okay, so this, I know this doesn't look anything like the one you're seeing on camera, but this will make a really nice background, and then putting something else on top of it. You know, maybe some die cuts or something to make a card. If you were to just put a little fuchsia over some areas. Oh, good. Yeah, could do that. I'm thinking, okay, you guys said one of the greens with the purple on that big one. So what if we did the purple with this green? Because nobody's had anything else that you really want to see, it sounds like. So this might be put the purple on it, let it completely dry, and then come back with a little more green. Because the purple's so much darker. The darker pigments tend to take a little longer to dry. And the purple is probably the darkest. I don't think even the titanium is quite that dark. I do kind of like that green poking through. But as soon as this dries, I think I would come back with just a little more of the mojito. Maybe I'd use the verdigris instead, like teal green. And then probably use a gel pen or a foil, liquid foil pen to do the inside of the flower. Maybe even a little bit, stem kind of thing. You could even do the gold foil edge around these, would make them really pretty as well. And even mounting it on a lavender paper before a black base doesn't always, that's not at all good. That's white or blue. So, and I can play with some of these others that we didn't really like the experiment as much and see what else I can get as we let it completely dry and then try something else on it. That was the titanium. So there's some sunshine on titanium. The titanium is very industrial, and I totally see that with walls and metal pieces. And I have chipboard keys and chipboard gears. Those are the things that I think would be great in titanium, because those are metals, and so they should have the metal shine. But yet if they're kind of grunged, they might have a sheen here and there, but not really have a shine. So I think that's going to be perfect for those. Okay, as it dries, the green's popping through a bit more. So like that. Let's see. Looked up and it says it's dye-based, highly pigmented, water reactive. So if you smudge some on a craft mat and spray water, it would drag a paper bag. Oh, you know what? Yes, I forgot about that. That was a whole nother technique that we didn't have time to try it, but she talked about it and showed some of the things that she has done. So she took the inks and smushed them like we do and sprayed a little bit of water into it. And then you could use a brush and do it like watercolor. Oh my goodness. The metallics are so beautiful done that way. Or smush your paper into it, just like we do with the distress, but you'd get that metallic sheen, and you can mix more than one color so that you get it, completely blended. They were really beautiful. Like I said, we didn't have time to try it, but she showed some of the ones that she had done and talked through the technique. I think I will experiment more with the white over the glimmer. Yes, I totally agree. I think I'm going to experiment with the white a little bit more, and maybe just learn to not go as heavy if I know it's going to come off thickly, because I think that being like moonlight coming down on him would be absolutely perfect. I think that'll look really, really cool. Yeah. Okay. You paint with it. Yes, with your brushes. All right. Glynis, have you got anything that anybody wanted? If you were able to write down anything that anybody wanted, and so you can message me afterwards, that's perfect. And we will call it right here. Thank you guys for hanging out on a Monday. I always appreciate it. I always love spending Mondays with you. I like Mondays, the beginning of a new week. It's a fresh start. It's just the beginning of a new adventure. Awesome, Glynis. Thank you. In love with the foxglove. Really? That's awesome. Okay, the more it dries, the more I look at it, the more I like it. And the more I think I want to take it and do the tiny white, like a 1/4 inch white boundary there, and then do a 1/2 inch black. I think that would be really pretty as a card. Awesome. Thank you, Joanne. I will. And you're right. I need to rest. I need to try to get a little more sleep this afternoon, maybe get a good nap. That'll help, and get those invoices out. People are expecting them. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for hanging out. It was fun. I love experimenting with new products. I know you guys do too. Glynis will give me those things right away. So, and if you're still thinking about it and want to wait and message in a couple days, send me a message telling me that, so that I will make sure I don't close out the order before. If I have them all together and I get all my stuff together tomorrow, then I may just put the order in and not wait till the end of the week. But if I know that you want a couple of days, then I can at least check with you before I put the order in. So please do that, so you don't get left out of that order. Woot woot. Yeah. Thanks, Jen, for hanging out with us on a work day. Do appreciate it. You guys have the rest of a great day, and we will see you really, really soon. Okay. Glynis, did you get Susan's? The pink, so the fuchsia, and the blue. So that is the coastline and the love struck. You get those down for Susan onto your list. I'll write them down too, just in case Glennis already checked out. Oh, she got him. Thank you, Glennis. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.